Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Sal StretfordPost. How you all doing? I hope you're all doing well. Good morning and welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope you've recovered from last night. It was a long night last night. Obviously, we had the rain interruption at the game. Obviously, we had Michael Oliver with every VAR decision, the controversy of VAR again with Michael Oliver, and the Premier League referees are being exposed again for what they really are. It's mad, isn't it, that they are always the ones that have these issues, that have these problems. It's like trouble follows them around, isn't it? It's a bit crazy. Like they just can't stay away from trouble. In particular, Michael Oliver, and Michael Oliver, obviously, who has been a problem for Man United for many years, a thorn in our side, so to speak. He's obviously at the forefront of all the controversy. I felt Denmark were very unlucky yesterday, and they ended up losing the game 2-0 to Germany. The first goal Denmark scored should have stood. We got to stop this offside. Second phase, third phase. If it's offside for the first ball, that's it. But if it goes to his feet, if not, if it deflects to him, but he's onside, then it should count, in my opinion. And the penalty is a bit of a mad one. Obviously, if you're running like this, your arm comes out like that, then players are aiming at the arm because they know as soon as it hits the arm, it's going to be a penalty. And sometimes it isn't a penalty. Sometimes it's from 1 meter away and it isn't a penalty. And these are the kind of things that UEFA need to address and sort out. To be fair, because it's been a bit of crazy with their decisions, and it's too easy to get a penalty because you can tactically win a penalty, and that's what teams are doing now. Let me just get the comments up. Today I'll be speaking about Man United and our big week ahead coming next week. Of course, we got July is a very important month for United. Of course, we got pre-season starting next week. It hopefully is when all the transfers come through the door, and hopefully we get some through the door, and all the transfers that we want come to fruition. Now, the first transfer, of course, was there was rumours yesterday that Manchester United after Miguel Gutierres of Girona. Gutierres, who, of course, is a product of Real Madrid. Played for Real Madrid, played for Real Madrid Castilla, and also played for Real Madrid first team. He's signed for Girona and set the world alight. He basically scored 4 goals last season from 30 appearances from left back. Not a bad return. So he would mark a very good signing for Man United, I think. I think he would be a very good signing. We need a left back. We need cover in that position, of course. With Shaw, unpredictability with his injuries, etc. And we need to sign a left back, I do believe. How much he'll go for, that remains to be seen. I think we could pick him up for about 30-40 million. That would be decent, but obviously the positions we need in the team, we've got so many positions that we need that it's becoming a bit difficult just to comprehend how much money we need just to fill up all the positions that we need. It goes to show you, and it hits home how much problems we have with a squad. A squad that's depleted. We have strikers that don't play. We have defenders that are injured all the time. So we need to be really careful of what we do this summer and where our money goes, because if we aim the money the wrong direction, we could be left short next season, as we have in previous season. But let's not get it twisted. We need a left back, and obviously, if Shaw doesn't get up to full fitness, if he plays a couple of games and gets injured again, then we're in the same problem as we were last season. So we do need a left back. I am very impressed with Amas coming from the youth. I think he needs a chance. I think during pre-season there's many opportunities for him to play. Hopefully he plays, and hopefully he gets some experience in the first team, and we can carry on and bring him through the youth again. And I believe he might get a chance next season. We do need a left back, so I think we should give him a chance. I believe he's good enough. I've seen him a few times in the youth team. He's got the strength, he's got the size, he's got the pace. I think he'd be a good left back. Even Luke Shaw mentioned Amas as his up and coming player, didn't he? Recently on TV, he mentioned who's the player that he thinks will come through the ranks first, and he said Amas, and he's a left back, so obviously he'd be competing for his place. So that's fair play to Luke Shaw for saying that. I believe that Amas is a very, very talented guy, and I think he will come through and be a next mainstay in the United side. And again, it will be another testament to Ten Hag of his believing youth, because I believe that once the preseason starts, we need to bed in these young players, and also we need to mix them in with the new signings and the more experienced players. I'm not sure what's happening with some of the other experienced players. Of course, Casemiro is still at the club. Of course, there's rumours about him going to Saudi Arabia, but we are not too sure about that at the moment. No news on him at the moment, of course. In regards to, before I get on to transfer news, in regards to Varane looks set to sign for not Lake Como. Lake Como is a destination in Italy. I don't think he'd be playing in a lake, but Como. He'd be signing for Como. Rafael Varane of Man United will be signing for Como. Obviously run by former Arsenal player Cesc Fabregas, who obviously admires Varane. Varane is still a very good player. I was shocked we got rid of Varane this season. I thought we would keep him. I thought he was a very important member of our squad, and his experience was invaluable. And for him just to be let go, it was shocking. But obviously, we have to trust the process. We have to trust what Ineos want to do, and we have to believe in their ways at the moment. And we can't be moaning. We just have to support them and see what they do and see who they bring in, because we do need cover. We need reinforcements in defence, as proven last season when we were all over the place in defence. Varane will be signing for Como, in my opinion, and it's a good move for him. It's not I think he can get a bigger club, but obviously with the influence of Cesc Fabregas, Como have done very well to get into the Serie A, and they will be ambitious. They are an ambitious club, so who knows what could happen next season with Como? They might impress. They might get into Europe, and they obviously are very ambitious. And let's see what happens. And I wish Varane the best of luck. Varane, who was obviously a very popular figure at Old Trafford, a very experienced man, and never moaned, never cried, never anything, just a good pro and a legend at that as well. Now, news coming out of Manchester United is that they have approached Victor Osimhen. Napoli's Victor Osimhen, of course, was instrumental in Napoli's Serie A Scudetto a year ago, and scored a number of goals. He was highly sought after that season. Of course, his price tag was very high back then. It won't be as high now, of course. He didn't have as good season last season. Neither did many of the Napoli players. Of course, Belletti left the club, so the things did change. So Victor Osimhen, according to MEN, he could be wearing the shirt of Manchester United. How do I think this will happen? In my opinion, most likely not. But Manchester United have approached and inquired about Osimhen, and it is known that Osimhen is a Man United fan. So we never know what will happen in that saga. But it will cost quite a bit of money. It will cost at least 100 million. I'm thinking 90 million. So I'm guessing that Osimhen could be an interesting name that be floated around the media waves this next few weeks. But Osimhen is a goal scorer. He can score goals, but again, we do need players who can pass the ball to him, who can cross, who can set up goals. Because our wingers at the moment are very attack minded. They're not very creative minded. So we do need players who can create goals for him. I do believe Victor Osimhen will be a good addition to the squad, though. I think he's a very, very good player, world-class player. Just think it was difficult last season with Napoli. Of course, the expectations of them went sky high, and that's what happens, especially when you lose your manager. It's going to be very difficult to rekindle that spark that they had when they won the Scudetto. Still a very good side. Of course, they got the Georgian as well. They got some good players, very impressive players, and a very good scouting team. Very good eye for talent do Napoli have. So Osimhen has been back on the radar of Manchester United. Of course, last season he was on Manchester United's radar. Of course, there was many rumours that he would come to Manchester United, but Manchester United didn't want to pay the 150 odd million that was quoted at the time that he could go for. I believe we can get him for a cheaper price, and I believe we can use a player as a make weight in regards to the deal. We should explore the option. I do believe he's a better option than other options that we've been going after, because we need a player who's proven, who can score goals, who's proven to score numerous amounts of goals, and he fits the mold, to be honest with you. That brings me steadily on to Joshua Zirkzee. Now, Joshua Zirkzee is an interesting one. Joshua Zirkzee, who had a good season at Anderlecht early on in his career, scoring 16 goals, but he hasn't really set the world alight, in my opinion. He went to Parma, 4 appearances, 0 goals. He scored four goals for Bayern Munich in about 13 appearances. So it's not really prolific. Manchester United, are they willing to take the risk on this player? He's obviously not a prolific goal scorer, and he hasn't entered into the Dutch team as yet in the Euros. Really, as a substitute, he has, but not really set the world alight, has he? So we need to be very careful of the players we're signing, and not just be excited to sign any striker, that becomes available. His price tag is quite hefty as well. Um, he isn't as experienced, as people think. He's been a bit of a journeyman even in his young career at 23. Of course, been to PSG. He's been to Bayern Munich. He's been to Parma. He's been to Anderlecht. So does represent a risk, and we need to be careful of that transfer because we need more prolific goal scorers in the team. In the team, so I would go for a more established striker to complement Rasmus Højlund, who is very young, and I think that he would represent a decent signing, but not a signing that I would be, oh my god, that's amazing. We've got a real goal scorer in the midst. So news about Joshua Zirkzee is our main target up front. Of course, lots of news going on about him recently, so it looks like he could be the striker that's coming through the door. It's a big risk for me, very big risk, and we need to think about it very clearly and very carefully. There are a number of strikers out there who we could sign who are more prolific. Of course, Sesko's off the market now. He's committed himself to RB Leipzig. So we need to move on and find other alternatives as well. I mean, Zirkzee, I wouldn't cry over it. I think he's a decent player. I don't think he's world class or an elite player that Manchester United need to compete at the highest level. We need the players that are going to go, wow, yeah, look at that player. He's capable of goals, capable of creating, he's capable of holding up the ball and whatnot. I do believe that he's a good player, but I don't think he will score the goals we need at Manchester United, especially given our goal difference last season. I don't think he will. Although I would not moan if we sign him, because we do need signings. We do need a striker to back up Rasmus Højlund, but that's another thing. Will Zirkzee take being a backup striker? Will he? We don't play 4-4-2 anymore. There's no chance we're going to play two up front. So will Zirkzee fit in that team? Will he accept being a striker? Of course, back in the day we used to have 4 strikers, but we did play 4-4-2. We had 4 strikers, 4 world-class strikers, 4 strikers who could score goals. It is better to have more strikers, but we need strikers who can score goals. Zirkzee, unproven in the Premier League, of course, and unproven at scoring more than 20 goals a season. So we need to be very, very, very careful. Even in Belgium, he didn't score that many goals. So he's not like a player that's going to come and score 40 goals a season. So, Zirkzee still on the radar, and Joshua Zirkzee looks like he could be the first striker through the door for Manchester United, of course. Now, Manchester United, of course, have turned their attention to De Ligt, Matthias De Ligt, a defender that we've been after for a while. He is a defender that hasn't set the world alight at Bayern Munich nor at Juventus. For whatever reason that is, a talented player he is. Is he a defensive version of Van der Beek? This is the thing. We have to be careful again. This Ajax thing that a few players that come from Ajax, Anthony, De Beek, and Matthias De Ligt, are they as good as we think? Not in the Dutch side, obviously, first team in the squad, but not in the Dutch side. Do I think he's a good player? Yes. Do I think he's gonna make us solid? He could do, but it's going to be again a risk. Hasn't set the world alight, of course. We need to be very, very careful, but does add experience and does add well-needed options in that back line, which is very, very shaky at the moment. We need to get someone in. We need to get someone who knows their craft. Maybe Ten Hag, working under Ten Hag, it might be better for him. But again, I stress, I am a bit wary of the Ajax thing. We've signed a few players from Ajax and they haven't done well over the years. You think of Daley Blind, you think of the Beak, of course. You know that they just haven't really set the world alight. And of course, Anthony for 90 million hasn't been a success so far. People would argue his first season was okay, it wasn't that bad, but he hasn't really set the world alight for his price tag. And bringing in Ligt is a risk, in my opinion. I think there are better options, in my opinion. I do. But would I take him over nobody? Of course I would, because he's experienced and it adds competition in our back line, which we need, because we cannot just rely on Johnny Evans, as well as Johnny Evans done last season. Fair play to him, one of our players of the season, surprisingly. I believe that bringing in De Ligt will add a bit more stability within our back line. I don't think he's the best defender out there, but I would not complain if we signed him, of course. Now, Manchester United and Branthwaite. Now, Manchester United have recently quoted that they will not be held to ransom for Jared Branthwaite. Of course, we've heard that before, haven't we? We've heard that all before. Jared Branthwaite, of course, Everton, wants to come to Manchester United, very interested in the move. But Manchester United are unwilling to pay the money that Everton want. And in my opinion, for the first time, that I'm going to agree. I don't think we should pay anything more than 40, 50 million. I think that's 70 million is extortionate for a player Branthwaite, who's young, who isn't proven yet, only played one season. In my opinion, he's a very, very good player. I do believe we should sign him, but I believe we can get a better deal than Branthwaite. We cannot be spending too much money on defenders like we did with Maguire. Of course, Branthwaite is nothing like Maguire. I liken him to Stones more, but Branthwaite is a very, very good prospect, the best English defender prospect in the country. So I think he would be a good signing as left centre back to rotate with Luigi Martinez. But also, it's not well known, but Branthwaite can play on the right of defence as well. He has done in the past in the youth team. He is both footed, which is very rare these days. So that's probably why we're so interested in him as well. Young, both footed, left foot, right foot. That's what you like. I'm surprised he wasn't in the England squad. Gareth Southgate decided to bring Dunk, and hasn't played him, which is crazy, really, especially when we don't have left-sided players in that squad. It's a crazy conundrum, isn't it, from old Gareth? He's a bit funny sometimes like that. So I do believe that Jared Branthwaite will be a good signing, and it's a signing that we used to make under the days of Sir Alex. I think he will be nurtured well under Ten Hag's leadership guidance, and I think that he would be a good addition to the squad, but we cannot overpay. I stress again, we cannot overpay for Jared Branthwaite. He's a good player, but 70 million, I'm sorry, we don't have the peas, we don't have the money for that. So we need to be careful what we're spending, where we're spending the money on, because it's not like we've got an embarrassment of riches. Players have not left so far. We still got all those players there. We still got Sancho. We still got Greenwood. We still got Pellistri. We still got the Beak. We still got Lindelof. We still got Wan-Bissaka. We still got all these players, and we need to get rid of some players quick. We've got a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do. And of course, next week is the pivotal week in our transfer dealings, as it's the time when we can do business. It's the business end of the window. So let's hope that we can do things and get things sorted. And let's hope Ineos start with a bang. Now, it is England tonight. God help us. It is England versus Slovakia tonight. I am hoping that Kobbie Mainoo starts along with Palmer. Kobbie Mainoo, who is a generational talent who can control the midfield, which England have lacked severely. Of course, England do lack a left back. Will Luke Shaw start for England? It remains to be seen. I don't think he's fit, but I do believe he should get 20 minutes to half an hour against Slovakia, pending how the game is going. I think if they give him 20 minutes to 30 minutes against Slovakia, I think that can only help Manchester United next season, because he's getting match fitness and he hasn't played since February, so he definitely needs match fitness. What do I think this team should be? I think it should be I am interested to see that Saka thing at left back. I know Saka didn't want to play at left back, and he quoted that he didn't want to play at left back. But it's an interesting theory. If you play three at the back and you play Saka as a left wing back, and you play obviously Trent Alexander-Arnold or Kyle Walker as a right wing back, or you play Trent Alexander-Arnold as a right wing back, and you play Kyle Walker as the right centre back, I think it could work. I'm not a fan of the three at the back myself. I remember Glenn Hoddle used to play at the three at the back, but if it complements the team and it helps the team shape and balance, I think that's more important than fitting square pegs in round holes. I think we shouldn't do that, especially in the knockout stages. We become unstuck. Slovakia won't be no mugs. They'd be ready for us tonight, and they'd be ready to put England to the sword. And of course, that would be an embarrassment defeat if England were to get knocked out. England should go through. If England play Palmer and Mainu, I'm very confident that they will go through. They'll create chances and they'll score a lot of goals, and they'll go through comfortably. Of course, Switzerland will wait the next round. Switzerland will look very impressive. Obviously, defeating Italy yesterday. Italy, probably the worst Italian performance I've seen in my entire life, nearly 4 decades of watching football. So will be Switzerland next round. Switzerland a bit of a strange one, because I do believe that Italy made them look better than they are. I do. I think England are better than Switzerland, and I think England have capabilities of getting to the semi-final, which will again highlight a sort of stat padding mentality with Southgate, because he'll say, well, I got to the semi-final, but beat teams you're supposed to beat. He has to win this tournament to prove himself. If he wins this tournament, I hold my hands up and I say fair play. He done it in the end. He should have done it before, but he done it in the end. And if he picks Mainu and Palmer tonight, fair play to him. Obviously, Foden had to go home to England to attend the birth of his baby. His wife was pregnant, so he had to go home for the Euros. So that gives Palmer a chance to play on the left, or Gordon to play on the left. I would play Palmer. I think Palmer's a generational, and I think he can play on both feet as well. Last game, I saw him playing on the left, and I saw him playing on the right. Brilliant player, fantastic player. Man United fan, should be playing for Man United. Of course, won't be able to sign him now. God knows how much he'll be going for. So we couldn't sign him for Man City either, because Pep wouldn't sell him to Manchester United. Of course he wouldn't. We're their biggest rivals, and of course there's a lot of bitterness there. So they wouldn't sell Palmer to Manchester United, of course. But Chelsea have Palmer. Palmer would like to come to Manchester United, of course, if we try to bid for Palmer. But of course, now what Chelsea going to offer now with those huge contracts is going to be over 100 million, 150 million easy. Because at the end of the day, they don't need to sell him. They've got a world-class player potentially, and they're not going to sell him. So Man United missed the boat on that one. But we have to take it on the chin and move on. We have our own very good young players, of course, Rasmus Højlund, Garnacho, Mainu, and the players coming through. I believe in the youth of Manchester United. That's what it's about. I believe we have one of the best youth in the world now. So let's believe in the youth, and let's go on from there. Now, in regards to the Euros again, Rasmus Højlund played last night. Of course, the service to Rasmus wasn't the best. Rasmus is still very raw in regards to her talent. I find it astonishing that there are certain people within the media and certain so-called United fans who are criticising Rasmus Højlund. The guy is, 20 years old. He has a lot to learn, but he's getting into positions, and he's got a lot of potential. I see the potential. I do. I've seen a lot of strikers in my time. I've seen a lot of world-class strikers in my time, near 4 decades of watching Manchester United, okay? So I believe he has the talent to get to where he wants to go. Under the stewardship of Ten Hag, he will do. It's best that we keep off his back and leave the guy alone a little bit. He's 20 years old, holding the line for Denmark, holding the line for Man United. He had a decent goal record last season in a team that didn't score goals and didn't create. So you've got to give him his dues, and you've got to support the guy. A young player, you've got to support him and make sure that you support him where you can, and don't criticise the player, because it's only going to harm him, and it's only going to harm us in the long run. So we need to be careful with him, of course, and we need to believe in him and push him and give him the confidence to go on and to create and to achieve big things at Man United, because Man United are on a good vibe at the moment with everything that's going on. Of course, that vibe could easily disappear come mid-July when we haven't got players through the door and we haven't got any signings, and it's pre-season and we haven't got any signings, and Ten Hag can't implement his style and blah blah blah. and then we got Fulham. Fulham will come around very easy. Charity Shield against Man City will come around very quickly, and then obviously people will be moaning, and the Ten Hag out brigade will be on the Ten Hag's back again, saying, "I told you, Ten Hag in the mud. Ten Hag's a bold fraud and and all that rubbish that they were saying last season." Because obviously their opinion means a lot to them, and of course their reputation means a lot to them. A lot of people last season celebrated way too soon. A lot of people last season, reputation was in the mud because they celebrated too soon. Now, winners, true winners in life, don't celebrate too soon. They don't count their chickens before they hatch, as they say. True winners, they observe, they cautiously observe, and they look at the situation and patient, and wait till it evolves. Because Ten Hag really showed a lot of people up last season. He did. A lot of Ten Hag outers were shown up, and I'm not talking about just the Ten Hag outers who were Ten Hag out. You can have your opinion. This is a democracy. You can have your opinion. If you wanted Ten Hag out, that's fine. But there were a lot of Ten Hag abusers, a lot of people abusing Ten Hag, swearing, abusing him, pulled fraud, and a bum and things like that. And the same with Rasmus Højlund as well. These people are really, really pathetic in my view, and I believe if they want to be Man United fans, they should act like Man United fans, and they should try and support this manager who's obviously very talented. So I believe that Ten Hag will have a good season next season, and he will contribute to a lot of people swallowing, whatever they like, their words. That's about it for the news for Sunday. Of course, this is a Monday coming, and the Monday is the 1st of July. Today is a Sunday, so obviously not much will be occurring. But because it is the last day of June, things may occur. You might hear some things today. You might hear some news today. You might hear certain transfers that might be completed next week. Don't be surprised, because it is the last day of June. So tomorrow is the 1st of July. It's going to get busy. It's going to get hectic. There's going to be noise. There's going to be opinions. Everywhere we go, it's going to be opinions. We can't get away from it. It's going to be a circus. This is Manchester United. We always keep the media spinning, and we always keep the noise spinning, and then there'll be no news that went for Manchester United. No one cares about Man City 115. No one cares. It's all about Man United. The world can be without Man City. The world couldn't be without Man United, because Man United make up 90% of the media output. Even when you come here to the UAE or you go to anywhere in the world, Man United is the news of the town. It's the news of the town. They can try and force Man City shirts down people's throats. They can try and force any other shirt down people's throats. It's not going to work. You can't buy 100 years of history. You cannot buy the Busby Babes, the legacy, the George Best. You cannot, Bobby Charlton. You cannot buy that. You cannot buy that, guys. You cannot buy that. You can stick to your Sean Gota. You can stick to your Paul Dickoff. You can stick to your Georgie Kinkladze. It doesn't matter to me, because Manchester United will always be the biggest club in Manchester. Manchester United will always be red. And on that note, I shall wish you and bid you a fantastic day. I hope you have a fantastic Sunday. Relax with your family and friends. Have something to eat. Go out. Maybe go to a restaurant. Treat yourself. Why not? Uncle Sal said so. Guys, please don't forget to smash a like and subscribe to the channel. You guys are absolutely immaculate. You guys are the best. You guys are elite. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day. Peace.